Now, Steve, that's not very nice. You're out here saying that my country doesn't exist, and to be completely honest, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Running on Kanadistan time. No, that's fine. I'm a quarter native. Just tend to be slow anyways. But hey, we're here. We're a day late. We're a day late and about 15 minutes short. But it's all right. It's all great because I got a fantastic show planned for everybody. And I think we'll probably be able to get up out of here in about hour and a half or so, something like that. It'll be really, really close or something like that. But I see Ed in here. I see Dark in here. I see Meme in here. I see Rookie in here. Constantly Criminal in here. The name looks familiar. I do agree with that one. So yeah, no, it's great to see you guys on the YouTube side. Let me just check out, make sure everything is all running over there. Obsidian over there on Rumble. What's up, brother? So yeah, no, like I said yesterday in a little post that I had, full intentions on doing this one yesterday, but fucking power was went out again last night, and then the internet. So yeah, I was playing internet tech at 2:30 in the morning. So I am loopy, I'm crazy, and this is going to be fun as fuck. Now, the only thing about the live stream, I'm sorry, not the live stream, but the town hall specifically, is when we get to that, which I got a whole bunch of other tabs that we need to get through, because we're going to do a little bit of an update from the different candidates that are out there all the way through until, what was that, Tuesday or Wednesday, when this town hall went down, where Sean Hannity just stood up for the establishment and didn't really further the cause or anything like that. But no, we're going to do an update all the way up until probably, we should be good for today heading into the next week, which who the fuck knows what's going to ultimately end up happening. It's going to be wild, that's for true. So shout out to everybody who's turning out for this. I really do appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get the first thing up. And it doesn't have so much to do with this election cycle as it does for everything else. I don't know if you guys heard about this beforehand, and I've alluded to it in a couple of different videos. I need my goddamn keyboard up here real quick and stuff like that. So YouTube reverses misinformation policy to allow an election denialism. You know what that means? That means that you can say anything that you want about 2020, which I've made my position known multiple times over, and even had a little tweet about it. I have lost dozens of fucking videos to this stupid cocksucking policy. I have received at least a half dozen different fucking strikes from that fucking policy right there for simply asking the question. What went on in those nursing homes in Wisconsin? What was with the poster board on the signs of the halls or of the election facilities in Detroit, Pennsylvania? An F curve? Fuck is that? We were just simply asking questions. And that was probably before anybody in the chat right now turned up and even noticed that my channel was out there. I have received across the two different channels, and the one channel has been completely nuked from orbit for no good reason. Still haven't gotten a response on that one, but 15 different strikes that I've had to fight and Aikido around, still here. We're still fucking here, and I'm not fucking leaving. So to see them to just walk this back on a slow fucking Friday to just go, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and allow discussions, 2020 talk. So this is direct from Axios. This is the first people. This is the source that I seen from the first post that was out there, and we'll take a look at it. Just a couple of the bullet points. We're doing the live stream. Don't need to go ahead and go in full depth. And like I said, this is going to be a big catch up for everything, so we know what we can make compares and contrasts to in 2024 for that election cycle, and especially with the primaries kicking up in the debates at least in 2 months' time. That's going to be fairly relevant, and it's interesting. In a reversal of its election integrity policy, which I also noticed, one of my more recent strikes in early 2022, it was something to do with 2020. I think it was about those Wisconsin nursing homes. And the strike, instead of having 2020 election misinformation, whatever the fuck they wanted to call it. Oh, you're asking questions. Oh, you're just wanting to find answers. Okay, struck. There's a reason that I didn't follow the Carrie Lake stuff, because I know that the moment that you start to touch that third rail, they'll just go ahead and eat your channel. Like, there's a topic that I'm going to be talking about. I think I'll probably have it out tomorrow. Not entirely sure. Don't hold me down on that one. But it's the Jamie Foxx stuff. It's like there's one very obvious fucking cause to it. And I was dancing around. I was just trying to figure out, it's like, do I just put a trailer up on YouTube and then just bring everybody over to Rumble? Or do I just go, fuck it, and put the information out there? Because somebody's paralyzed and blind thanks to the you-know-what. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, talking about the election in 2020. Was some fuck shit? Did some fuck shit happen? Yeah, obviously. There's affidavits of it out there. Was it handled perfectly? Absolutely not. It was about the sloppiest group of fucking lawyers that Trump could possibly find. Rudy, well past his prime, Giuliani, and one very interesting surrogate for the Ron DeSantis campaign in Jenna Ellis. Oh, interesting why she turned, but let's get through this. Okay, so YouTube established its policy in December of 2020, and after enough states had certified the 2020 election, now the company said in a statement, leaving the policy in place may have an effect of curtailing political speech without meaningfully reducing the risk of violence or other real-world harm. Took you 3 cocksucking years to come up to that. Really? When I had videos such as comparing and contrasting that I put out on, I think it was a Christmas Day video for 2020, comparing and contrasting the 1960 election and the 2020 election, and there's a lot of fucking similarities there. So 2 years, tens of thousands of videos removed. Yeah, like I said, I lost track. It's easily over a dozen videos that were taken down because of this policy. Not even because I was alleging anything. Maybe a couple of the videos like right afterwards. It's like, well, what happened? Where the fuck did these votes come from? Outside of that, didn't really change all that much. With that in mind, and with the 2024 campaigns well underway, we will stop removing content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches occurred in the 2020 and other past presidential elections. Okay, so can you put those videos up? Can I retroactively get all of those strikes back? And then when are you going to do the same for the jab policy? Because I think we have more than enough evidence, anecdotes, anything that you want, personal experiences in order to conclude that that's all fucking horseshit. So I'm glad that that third rail is removed, but I'm also pissed off because it was put there in place to begin with, and wanted to get that out of the way because there's absolutely no way. Okay, asked how YouTube can specifically be able to make determinations. The spokesperson said YouTube said it's carefully deliberating this change. So mostly because Trump is a big ratings get, and you know what he's going to be talking about when he does hit a debate stage or a town hall stage. So instead of just, taking back all of those eyeballs and then, removing one of the most popular people off the face of the platform for the better part of 18 months, yeah, just let people discuss some shit, because just like I said at the time multiple times, and I've been consistent in this part of the message, hey man, everything's all said and done. You'd have to go through the impeachment process, then you'd have to hold another election. It's not so much as, yeah, okay, there was some fuck shit that happened. Okay, we're just going to take this person and replace it with that person. That's never been the policy. That has never been the policy. And, well, hey man, now it's better to know the rules now going into 2024 than to just sit back and go, well, things should be different. If this was better, everything else would be better. Okay, man, like, you can't live like that. You got to live assessing what is instead of just what could be, what should be. That's never healthy. So, what are we talking about over here? Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the post Ron DeSantis announcement bump. Just a fucking off to a blistering pace right here. Ron DeSantis gains 2% in national poll after official launch of his presidential campaign. 56% according to Morning Consult, which is a left-leaning poll. There are very few that are accurate, fair, or honest. Morning Consult does lean a little bit to the left. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's not a YouGov poll. It's not a CNN poll. It's kind of bog standard. So for the fact that Trump has 56% and then the next closest person is Ron DeSantis, is like, this campaign is fucking done. The only reason Ron DeSantis is running is because somebody whispered in his ear, Trump's going to get indicted and you're going to be the de facto nominee. He is the second most popular by a fairly wide margin. But let's stop it. Let's fucking stop. 34 points in that fucking poll. You think Ron DeSantis is going to gain that much fucking ground? Like, come on. This is just an opportunity for all those old bush heads, all of those people that made all of that money off the 2016. There's one comparison that I'm going to make here very, very shortly once we get a little bit further in. But Ron DeSantis reminds me of somebody in particular from 2016 that kind of went through a bit of a transformative period. But yeah, not looking good for Ron. 22%. Bruh, you had this, fantastic launch. I had Elon Musk host my big announcement, and oh wow, all you got was 2 fucking percent. Christ almighty, at least when you go to Disney World, you get a fucking t-shirt. Yeesh. So, yeah, it's funny, because I think this was Saturday. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it would have been yesterday. It says the 3rd that was on there. There was this big Iowa event, okay? All of the NeoCons and rhinos were down there, and it was, super fantastic. And it's weird, because I pointed this out at the time, and it's like, why is this bitch front and center? Why is he campaigning alongside his wife like that? It's kind of fucking weird. And then you take a look at his surrogates, and it just cast your mind back. If you guys remember the Babylon Bee situation, it was that Christina Pusha or whatever? Yeah, I think it was. One of the people affiliated, Gavin Wax, if I recall the name correctly. Gavin Wax got fired right there on Twitter because he said, Christina Pushaw, what the fuck is wrong with you? You can't say that about women. That's what Ron DeSantis is trying to do. He's trying to backdoor the feminist agenda by saying that, no, man, we're actually the real conservatives because we're better men for these women who are out there. That's fantastic. I'm sure Casey DeSantis is a wonderful bitch. But in actuality, if you just want to tell men, men just need to sack up and wife up these hoes. Not every chick out there is Casey DeSantis. And for you to just go ahead and push her out there, she's going to be, if you end up, for whatever fucking reason, end up being the Republican nominee and then getting to the White House through the general election, she's still unelected at the end of the day. And you're making her your de facto running mate during this primary season. That's nice. Maybe you have, outside of the obvious, the most attractive wife. Fuck are you doing, dude? It's supposed to be about your policies. When you're campaigning in the primaries, what separates you from everybody else in the pack is your policies. The mainstream, the general election, that is much more of it's a popularity contest at that point in time. It's team sports. It's my team versus your team. But when you're running in a primary, I don't know, man. Doing all of this fucking dumb shit, it really doesn't make all that much sense. Unless, of course, you take a look, the DeSantises are campaigning for president with 3 children under the age of 6. But they're supposed to be the TradCon nominee because that evil Trump, he's been married multiple times. Oh my God, he fucks around on his wife. And I'm like, okay, just, can I vote for him harder? If I could vote for him, could I vote for him 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times? Like, come on now. Anyways, that means they'll either be leaving them with staffers. Oh, okay, so this trad-cuck relationship, somebody else is going to have to raise their kids. Or dragging them across the country so Casey can attempt to fulfill her ambitions. Very sad. Very good point. But no, using her as a billboard makes no fucking sense. Casey DeSantis made a bold political fashion statement while on the presidential campaign trail with her husband, Ron DeSantis, because that's funny. Because, okay, you're either going to be leaving your kids behind, but Ron, while he's out there on the stump right now, is kind of leaving Florida behind. Interesting. 42-year-old DeSantis, Casey, that says, wore a blunt outfit that pays homage to one of her husband's key campaign promises to end woke ideology, where woke goes to die. Ugh, it's a masculine-ass jacket, and she's a reasonably attractive chick, but hey, man, she doesn't quite hold a candle to, the chick that she's ripping off. It's hilarious. I've seen so many different comparisons where it just looks like the great value trumps. Let's keep it a buck, man. These guys have nothing fucking original about them at all whatsoever, but it's funny. This was, yes, Iowa Republican rally. Okay, who else was down there? Well, you had Mike Pence, Ron DeSantis, all campaigning together for this fucking Iowa event. Meanwhile, a couple of days before, Trump was down there with the fucking town hall that we're going to be watching. So, tomato, you can go ahead and campaign however you like. Republican primary race revved up on Saturday as 8 GOP candidates. There's 8 of them? What the fuck? Hit the Iowa State Fairgrounds in Des Moines for Senator Joni Ernst's annual motorcycle-themed fundraiser. Ugh. I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a public event like that. They're always ass. They just always... It's not too dissimilar than just a big corporate event. It's like, come on down to the state fair, sponsored by Pepsi. It just doesn't have that same appeal as like a downtown Holmesy feel where you just have the guy who has like 5 teeth in his fucking head operating the Ferris wheel. That's... I don't know, maybe I'm just being nostalgic when it comes to this stuff, but if you have a big government event, like, it's never great. It's like, we're gonna have a big hot dog roast, and it's just always so corporate and fucking odd. But maybe that's just Canadian. Maybe that's a Canadian thing. Maybe, you know, there's just more authenticity with a big fucking Iowa sign and some cackling cunt up there at the fucking podium going, oh, thanks. We're here to stomp out woke ideology. It's just like, shut your fucking face. Nobody fucking cares. But yeah, there's Ron. There's Ron right there shaking hands and pissing people off because we got some clips from this event. But I took a look at that picture right there and it's like, holy fuck, does he look familiar or not? Yeah, like I said before, 2016, a lot of staffers, a lot of fucking comparisons. He's Ted Cruz of this election cycle. Like, is anybody else drawing the corollary? It's Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz employed a bunch of the same people that this motherfucker is right here. Okay, like, yeah, you know, oh, I just got those working bad blue jeans on. I'm just a bad of the people. Don't mind, you know, all of the media personnel that are right behind me, or in this case, at least, you know, hey man, just in case, I don't know who she's stopping, but she's probably strapped, so that'll be fine. But like I said, okay, so South Carolina Senator Tim Scott circulated through the crowd. Apparently they didn't get a picture of him, but they got Howdy Doody on a fucking motorcycle. Like, ugh, Christ almighty. Ew, he has his name fucking... Well, it's not monogrammed. It's just he's got a little badge. He's never rode that motorcycle in his fucking life. I will absolutely bet. Okay, it's like just so... That doesn't look presidential. Like, for all the shit that Trump caught about, you know, oh, he doesn't act presidential. He looks like a dork. He makes George W. Bush look like homecoming king when he does that. And it's like, the fuck, man. Former governors, oh, Nikki Haley. Bitch still running? Holy fuck. Asa Hutchinson, Vivek Ramaswamy, who we do have a clip from, because he said some incredibly base things recently. And my theory, once they do end up hitting all these GOP hopefuls, it's the second tier of candidates, because Trump, he's supposed to be sitting out the first debate, I think, something like that. But Vivek is the only one who's opining and really pining to just trying to leapfrog or at least gain some notoriety. So I just think he's jockeying for a cabinet position and maybe for, you know, the rub for 2028, which from what I'm seeing is definitely the best of the pack. But holy fuck, has this election cycle, this primary season really exposed just how short the bench for the Republicans are. Thank God the Democrats have absolutely nobody. Like, what do they have? That fucking knockoff Patrick Bateman out there in California? Nobody likes him. He's a fucking idiot, but who knows, man? They're definitely going to try to run him in 28, and I can't wait for AOC to hit the stage, but all in due time. We're already looking too far ahead, but Larry Elder was there. Oh, okay, well, I don't know why he's running. I don't know, just need something to do. What is he just out there to do promotion for his radio gig? Fucking weird, but yeah. What do we got up next? Oh, right. I want to watch a little clip, because now we got to run a clips, I think. Yeah, we got to run a clip. Yeah, I don't need that one, actually. Just trying to line everything up. But yeah, Ron DeSantis from this event right here. And this is another reason, yeah, because he was sold. He was packaged as just, oh, he's the cleaner Trump. He's Trump without any of the baggage. No, he's just the 2024 version of HW. Like, just check this out. First, he called Putin a war criminal. We watched that interview. That was the Piers Morgan interview. Now he calls Kim Jong-un a murderous dictator. Okay, that might be true, but what's the benefit of proclaiming that? Like, who's the only president who has sat down, been to the DMZ, had a discussion with the guy? What's safer? What's safer, an open line of communication or just lobbing insults behind a block screen? Because that's effectively what you're trying to do here, Ron. Oh, he's got so many bad fucking advisors in the background. The Bush Doctrine that we rejected in 2016, 2012, 2008. You could argue about 2006 was about when it all started to fucking fall apart because the Democrats had the audacity to run John Kerry, and because it was Kerry Edwards. I forget the... Yeah, whatever the fuck. It's old history at this point in time. But yeah, if the Democrats ran anybody of note and, you know, just exposed the fact that Iraq was a total fucking scam, they might have had an opportunity. But yeah, no, the Bush Doctrine has well since been, you know, it's been sunset. But Ron's out here trying to backdoor it in now with a heaping helping of feminism, which... Yeah, I don't fucking think so. So yeah, listen to this clip. It's only 30 seconds long, and boy, if we were to just simply play some Ron DeSantis clips, holy fuck, man, it would be an abomination. I seen one where he was walking, he was doing a photo op, and then he had the weirdest, like, sociopathic, just a flip of expression on his face where it's like, I don't want to be here. Okay, cool, I'll pause for a picture. Okay, it's all great, great. And then just stone face walking forward. It's like, wow. You purport to be a man of the people, but in actuality, just a corporate stooge, bro. So, let's see what we got here. Okay, make sure got desktop audio on. We can listen to all this stuff before we go forward.
With Fox. Hi. What did you make of Trump congratulating Kim Jong-un?
Oh, yeah, perfect pause frame. But anyways, no. So, okay, what do you think of? Yeah, Trump congratulating Kim Jong-un. What does he mean on that one? Do I still have that one pulled up? Yes, I do. Oh, no, that's... actually don't know what this one is, but no, I just got to pull that one up real quick. I think I ended up not pulling that one. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. Shout out to you guys for turning it out. I haven't been able to look at the chat. I've been setting everything up. Maybe it's this one? Yeah. Aha, good, pulled it perfectly. So you have Brian Kemp, another confirmed rhino, governor of Georgia, right? Okay, so here's Trump on Truth Social. Congratulations to Kim Jong-un. What does he mean by that? North Korea granted position on World Health Organization's, I think it's Human Rights Panel or some shit like that. Like, World Health Organization is a fucking joke to begin with. And yeah, okay, so what did Trump do in that situation right there? One, two, three, four, 5 simple words, a name and, you know, a prefix, and then just one word, really. So yeah, in that one statement, he condemned the WHO and he triggered all of the fucking spurgs. Like, who else can do that? Nobody else can do that. Okay. So, not taking our country back from Joe Biden does not start with congratulating North Korea's murderous dictator. Oh, looks like that's the new Tradcuck NPC update. It's like, oh, okay, North Korea has a murderous dictator. Again, that's why you'll never be president, just like your more famous counterpart. Are you really this stupid, or do you have to work at it? No, for Brian Kemp, it's a full-time fucking job. But, yeah, so that sets that up right there, okay? Kim Jong-un, North Korea said on the, I think, Human Rights Council for the WHO, or at least accepted membership into it. Realistically, it doesn't mean a fucking thing because it's not like North Korea is, you know, contributing anything of note. So what does Ron have to say about this?
I was surprised to see that. I mean, I think, one, Kim Jong-un is a murderous dictator. They just imprisoned for life a family, including an infant, which is just outrageous. And
yeah, well, whatever. It's their country. They can do whatever they want.
Then the World Health Organization's a bankrupt organization. Like, Kim Jong-un's bad, but then joining that, we need to be getting out of that and rejecting the WHO lockdown treaty and not...
Gee, it's almost like there's more than one layer to that statement. What did Trump say about the WHO? Oh, not much. He just removed the U.S. from membership in the WHO. Oh, it starts to make a lot more sense now. But Ron's just on the whole, you know, orange man bad train right now. He's like, are you that fucking dumb, dude? Well, don't answer that. It's the hypothetical.
Congratulating about being involved in the WHO.
Do you think Trump has the temper?
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to move away. Ew, somebody was going to ask about temperament? Fucking gross.
Do you think Trump has the temperament?
I don't know, that was it. Do you think Trump has the temperament? Neither does that guy who just, you know, fucking speeds out at the just like he's seen a chili dog off in the distance. It's a Sonic the Hedgehog reference. But yes, okay, so what do we see here? Okay, well, DeSantis is lying once again. Trump didn't say fighting woke isn't a big deal. Right. Okay, so yeah, there was another clip that was down there. And again, he's just mischaracterizing things just like his surrogates online.
Well, woke is an existential threat to our society. I mean, it's a...
Characterize it. Properly characterize it and define it. Like, you got to use it. You got to play that game when you're on YouTube, right? And they're like for thumbnails, and it's like, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say I don't use woke in the titles. It's like, that's the shit that trends in the algorithm. And then my definition of it is just, well, it's just a catch-all term when it comes to intersectionality, neo-Marxism. Okay, all of the worst ideologies, they all just come together at that intersection of... It's a different way to say leftism, and it's just, only, 4 characters long when you have 100 characters to work with the title. That's basically what it is, and if Ron can't define it, then you're just campaigning on buzzwords, and you just look like a fucking stuffed suit, bro.
Attack on truth, it's a form of cultural Marxism, and it really subordinates merit and achievement to things like identity politics. You can't have...
Okay, well, let's just play bingo card right there. Fantastic.
A vibrant free society if every institution is dominated by woke ideology, and to say it's not a big deal, that just shows you don't understand what a lot of these issues are right now.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but it's interesting. Once again, well, DeSantis is lying once again. Trump didn't say fighting woke isn't a big deal. I do believe that this quote comes from the town hall that we are, in fact, about to watch. I only got a couple more slides to take a look at here. Fighting woke isn't a big deal. He said that he doesn't like the term because most people don't know what it means. Neither does Ron. It's like a cultural Marxism and like stuff and identity politics. Great, like you putting your woman out there to campaign for you? Oh, okay, cool. Trump said he prefers the term sick. Yeah, it's far more direct. It's like, these people are sick. We're at war with these people. They're sick people. I don't like these people. I see them. They've got their rainbow hair. And you know what rainbow hair? Lots of bright colors, people. You see the colors that are out there in nature that is supposed to tell you that they're poisonous, folks. That you don't want to go close to them because they're evil. They will hurt you. They will hurt you. So that's why we have to strike first and categorize these people. They're sick people, folks. So, and describe what the left is doing to our culture, education, and society. Trump spent the event slamming the participation of trans children. No such thing as trans children, just indoctrinated youth by socially corrupt parents of youth sports, as well as gender-affirming care, which is butchery. Child butchery for trans children. Again, see the previous description. Amid a rise in state bans on healthcare procedures. No, you just don't want to be committing plastic surgery, or you do not want to be putting somebody who is not allowed to have a say in what vices they partake in, what they do when it comes to service to the country. They're not old enough to make those decisions, but somehow they're old enough to make reproductive choices that will last a lifetime at the age of 8. Yeah, seems to make a whole fucking lot of sense right there. But no, it's healthcare, bro. In GOP-led states, saying this country's got sick. It's terrible, it's gross, it's disgusting. And if you think I've been hard, on the women that are out there, maybe let me rephrase that for a second, okay? The women within the DeSantis camp, and the fact that he's just sicked his harpies out on the population, well, take a look at this, okay? I think a couple of days ago, Friday or Saturday, Trump sent out this tweet after Kayleigh McEnany was on Fox News saying, well, actually, Ron DeSantis is doing good in the polls. So Trump sent this out. Kayleigh Milquetoast McEnany just gave out the wrong poll numbers on Fox News. I am 34 points up on DeSanctimonious, not 25 up. 35 up, folks. It's a whole lot. It's huge. The huge divide that's there. Ron DeSantis, you're never gonna catch me. Just drop out with dignity. Dust yourself off. Take care of Florida, okay? Well, 25 is great. It's not 34. She knew the number was corrected upwards by the group that did the poll. The rhinos and globalists can have her. That's right. Oh my God. Did he just do She Belongs to the Streets on Truth? Oh my God. This fucking guy. Fox News should only use real stars. Yeah, because back in the days of Roger Ailes, when they'd have those hot, attractive former Miss USA pageant contestants, didn't have a fucking thought in their head, and wasn't she in a pageant or something like that? Yeah, she was a press, press secretary. That's a proper term. I'm just trying to think about what. Yeah, no, and she was great. She had her big old binder of facts, but hey, man, she's going to do fuck shit for a job. Well, hey, man, you can get the consequences. And then, yes, another one of these Ron DeSantis surrogates. Kaylee is the kindest person and was the best press secretary to ever set foot in the White House. There is zero excuse for degrading or belittling her to a degree over a few points. What's belittling and degrading outside of, yeah, they can have her. Okay? Like, the fuck is wrong with you? I am upset and at a loss for words. Oh, God, repeal the 19th. This is why. But now we have a clip from Vivek, who I think is probably going to do the best when it comes to coming out ahead in the primaries. Like, he's the guy who's actually going to gain. Ron DeSantis, when he's out there on the debate stage, he has zero fucking charisma. Every single time we hear that dumbass talk, it just immediately puts everybody to sleep. He's like white Ben Carson with a little bit better cadence. Somebody better give that motherfucker a media training, otherwise it's going to be a wrap. But Vivek, on the other hand, he's kind of a pit bull when he's out there. I think we've watched, or at least I've done videos on a couple of his more spicier takes. And what he did, I don't think I did the one with Don Lemon, but when he put him in his place, that was awfully good. And here he is on CNBC, so on the financial side of things. Ron DeSantis signed a hate speech bill, which, this actually used to be community guidelines, community notes, which, funny thing about that, I got to pull up something else on that because I've seen a very interesting thread. Actually, we can get that for right now, but just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Okay, cool. It was the first one that was up there anyways, so. Yeah, there we go. Many people have been saying that the community notes are being rigged against Trump supporters. Yeah, because I noticed this one specifically because there used to be one that was right there. Okay, this is a total lie, Vivek. What are you doing? It's actually not, but okay, cool. Well, Dave Rubin. Anyways, note needed is an account followed by more than 4,000 people, including the highest ranking members of Team DeSantis. The account weaponizes community notes in favor of DeSantis. Yeah, despite never interacting with the account, they blocked me. Somebody who we've used the tweet from before in this very video. In fact, the majority of the account feed consists of directing their followers to rate notes placed on Trump supporters' tweets. They also slap notes on DeSantis critics, such as Newsom and Vivek. Interesting. The latest targets appear to be Laura Loomer, who's been tweeting up a storm. But she's taking the shotgun approach. God bless her. Last Refuge to, I don't know who that guy is, and Trump War Room, which is, I think, a Trump surrogate account. But yeah, it's interesting. It only seems to go one way, though. And then you have Christina Pusha out there just, once again, running back all of the same old tired talking points that, Donald Trump shut down the country. How, where, why, and how? Like, it didn't fucking happen. It's very possible that the account is being run by paid members of Team DeSantis. It's tough. You could say that there's probably a connection, but saying that it's, just a paid shill account, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I've tried to join community notes 5 times. Yeah, all that stuff. Lastly, source provided me the material, saw the bias firsthand. They tried to follow the group on their main account, pro-Trump, but they were denied and then ended up, using a DeSimp account that he set up and then was finally allowed to show up. So, notes needed, bias towards DeSantis. So a lot of people are picking this up. A lot of people, folks, they're picking it up all over the place. But what was Vivek talking about? And I seen this, and yes, he was talking about this hate speech bill that Ron DeSantis signed in. And it's like, okay, I like Ron DeSantis when it comes to him being a governor. Like, he's awfully good at it. I've pointed out in a video from earlier this year, it was about when he made Florida a constitutional carry state, like the 26th state or something like that, 24th or 26th. But then he also signed and wrote into law some horrific red flag laws. So if you aren't going to take those off the books, your constitutional carry law is going to mean absolutely fucking nothing if the Karen that lives across the road thinks that, there's something going on over there, you better take those mean guys' guns away. So there's a lot of fucking work to do when he's out there. It's almost like he kind of governs from an emotional state, just like, all the women that he surrounds himself with. You can always judge the character of a man by the company that he keeps. Just saying. Just saying. Ron DeSantis signed a hate speech bill earlier this year at the donor's request. I respectfully disagree. The right to bad speech isn't less speech, it's more speech. That's an American way. It's even something when it comes to the 2020 election that fucking YouTube learned. What does Vivek have to say? Yeah, 1 minute 47 clip.
Whole premise of this discussion is predicated on the fact that Twitter is one of the main forums for open public discourse and debate today. It is one of the reasons I love this program is that people with diverse views can come together and exchange those views. We have lost those sacred spaces.
Yeah, it's interesting. CNBC, the more financial side of this stuff, it's about the only good NBC affiliate that's out there, because the main show is absolute dog shit. And what do we even need to say about MSNBC? But CNBC, when it comes to the financial side, they're actually not that bad. It's fairly milquetoast. It's just normally simply information. Outside of, what's his nuts there? Kramer. Jim Kramer? Yeah, that dude's fucking nuts, but okay.
Say what you will about Twitter, it is one of those few spaces on the internet today where people are still able to engage in dialogue outside of their echo chambers.
Unless you're Daily Wire. And they would have been, because I also got hit with one of those hate speech things by, I could probably pull up the tweet, but basically I said tranny and gay in a tweet, and then that got flagged for hate speech. I say worse on fucking YouTube, for Christ's sakes. Like, just check out any of the fucking Bud Light videos that are out there. You can probably have a little tally sheet for how many times I'm going to say tranny, but I say it once, and then all of a sudden, oh my god, this tweet's been flagged for hate speech. You can't interact with it at all. Okay. And then, talking about the Daily Wire situation with the What is a Woman documentary, it was like, oh my fucking god, just get to the bottom of it. No new information gets revealed off of it, but it's very informative and informational. Shut up, you fucking bearded cuck. But no, there was a little bit of a dust up. I think that was on Thursday or Friday or some shit like that. No, it would have been June 1st, because to celebrate Pride Month, we're going to do some inflammatory stuff. Oh, inflammatory in Daily Wire. Please tell me how you're pushing the envelope on 1980s comedy. Ugh. So they decided to premiere it in full on Twitter, and then, you couldn't share it because it was flagged for hate speech, which was kind of hilarious because, the new Twitter CEO, she likes base tweets though, bro. Hilarious. And if they didn't have that open communication, Daily Wire and Jeremy Boring writing this long fucking tweet, I have never seen a surname more apropos for a fucking CEO than Jeremy Boring. He had this long fucking screed. I was going to do a video on it, and then it's like, it's Daily Wire. I know the cause is righteous, and, any sort of suppression on speech will eventually come to your front door, but so many other people are talking about it. And again, it's just this fucking NeoCon agenda where they just take a look and they're just trying to put everybody back on the plantation, and they're just relying on the people that have the principles that are out there in order to save them. So fuck them, let them burn at this point in time. Fuck you. You're not an ally. Stay over there. So, with that said, if they didn't have the open line of communication with Elon Musk, everything would have been fucking shut down, because I don't have that line of communication. I was never offered an appeal process. That's just the fucking way things go. The elites like to congregate up in the top, but they'll tell you, oh no, we're conservative now all of a sudden. Yeah, there's different strains of it, and that's becoming painfully fucking obvious. Back to this.
Come back to your question, though.
Pelosi is very dangerous. If you look at the Capitol, Washington Post put out a story yesterday about how the Capitol Police watched this break-in, or would have if anybody was monitoring the cameras.
Oh, it's hilarious how we just read that Axios article where it's like, okay, discussion doesn't really instigate any sort of violence. And here she's saying, well, if people were watching the security cameras, nothing would have happened at the Capitol. Okay, cool. Explain those police officers that were moving barricades and then just also bringing people in. But that's all right. You don't need to do that.
The stuff that was said about him definitely leads to additional violence. And you can say this. I'm not saying this just about the Democrats. This is definitely a situation where Republicans have been put in this position. We're going to have Scalise on, who was shot. He's going to come to us about these things.
So this is, but Becky, the thing I will tell you is this is not unique to this moment. We have been having this debate in this country since 1776, since 1789.
Oh,
this is the fundamental American.
Yes. Okay, just making sure. Okay, cool. Mr. Rick.
It is the bargain of free speech in our country. All right, free speech is not intended for the speech we love. It is intended for the speech that we do not love. Without it, it's not a free speech country.
You can have your opinions, but saying that things are facts are dangerous.
So here's my view on this. If you're going to
it doesn't really much matter. It's not what you said, it's how you say it. Oh my God. Back in the kitchen.
Take down false speech, the company bears the burden of proof to demonstrate that it was actually false. Because free speech is not a liberal arts luxury. So the pursuit of truth depends on it. The pursuit of truth depends on it.
In all situations, you can have an opinion, but there are certainly facts in certain cases. To be able to say whatever garbage you want until you are proven otherwise is not what you.
So Beck.
Oh, is fucking app, or I'm sorry, is Rumble acting up? Because yeah, I'm seeing a couple of things for you guys that's in there as well. So yeah, no, Ed's saying, yeah, YouTube's all fucked up. Okay, oh Christ Almighty, yo man, I'm not okay. Yeah, I'm seeing something about dropped frames here. Let me just check here. Oh yeah, yikes, we don't need this. 200. Okay, so 0.2%. Hopefully it gets better. Okay, we'll see. Dropped frames 2%. We'll see. Yeah, if we continue here, it should be fine. You guys just let me know. Let me know at the chat if everything's all up and up, because everything's on delay. It looks like my camera's smooth, so no, for sure. Yeah, so cool. Well, fuck it. I'm just going to continue to let it play because we're on such a good roll.
You take a look at the debates around closing schools. There were people who were censored on YouTube, on other social media channels for making the arguments against school closures. Now we look back and say that those were probably policies that we regret. I believe we would have gotten to the right answers sooner if we had not censored those views.
Yeah. No, exactly. Same thing with the jab. Same thing with the election. If you could just simply ask some fucking questions, we would be so far ahead when it comes to this. But hey, man, of course we can't. Of course we can't in this situation. I'm just going to make sure that everybody, we're not dropping too many frames. Looks like shit's... yeah, 0.2% of the frames have been dropped. It's interesting. If it was it just for that video, or was there something else that was in here? Because I hope not. I really hope not. So just making sure that everything's good and just putting that at the appropriate speed. I also want the appropriate resolution on that. And okay, cool. So that's good. That's good. Okay, yeah. So speed looks like okay. Quality, just making sure, because we'll see, because yeah, if anything ends up fucking up, we're just gonna have to change a couple of things, but I think we should be good. Okay, but yes, of course the disclaimer goes on this one once we switch over to the video right here. So we got the town hall pulled up. I have to go and find, because I could only find the full version of it over on Rumble, which kind of lets me know what time it is. Okay, hopefully they don't take this down on YouTube on that side. Looks like everything's fine-ish when it comes to the chat. I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure. Yeah, it keeps freezing. Rumble's acting dumb. I hope so. Hey, Roger, what's up, man? Oh, life is... No, it's all good. It's all good, man. No, glad you're here. And, A Meadows, I'm seeing that you're hopping between, yeah, both channels right there, and Non Sequitur, so yeah. Good to see you in here as well, man. But no, okay, interesting. So yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Rumble right now. Yeah, interesting. I'm just getting I can't tell. Fuck, man. Keeps cutting out. What the fuck? It's interesting because yeah. The drop frames haven't changed at all whatsoever. I guess we can hope for the best, but plan for the worst. So if anything ends up fucking happening, I hope not, because I don't want to have to fucking delay this for another day if the fucking internet's all goofed up. But we can try to hopefully not totally potato the quality, but I'll be able to pay more attention to the chat here and make sure that you guys are, you know, having a good experience that's on here. And yeah, I'll pay attention to the drop frames. But here we have, now we're just, yeah, we're going to hop right into the town hall itself. So if it goes down on the YouTube side, try it out on Rumble. Other than that, if it goes down and Rumble's still acting ass, I guess we'll cut our losses. But I think we should be good to go. Okay, I think so. This town hall is only about a half hour, and then there's another extra question period at the end, so we should be able to get through this. We should be good at about an hour, maybe even a little bit less, but yeah. So without further ado, let's hope for the best. Come on. If anything could go wrong, it probably will on this weekend. It's been a total fucking train wreck, but I'm glad you guys are here. Okay, super glad. And you can see the counts on there, and appreciate you guys. You guys are the fucking best. Let's go, Rumble. Lumble. L Rumble. Come on! Stop being a fucking cocksucker. Straight. Okay. Bruh. Oh my god. Lumble. Okay, there we go.
Being here.
Okay, good. Can stream. Forgot what time it was. You guys want to watch Biden fall? Let's watch Biden fall real quick, okay?
In a head-to-head matchup there in the most recent...
Okay, so, Iowa town hall with Donald Trump. He's ahead versus Biden, and, well, let's be completely honest. How many of Biden supporters are alive?
Harvard-Harris poll has him up by 7 points over Joe Biden.
Yeah, looks like drop frames are good.
The vast majority of Americans, including Democrats, they're not happy with Joe Biden. I don't think many Americans are happy with Joe Biden, to say the least. And based on recent polls, voters believe that Biden is corrupt, incompetent, creepy, both mentally, physically.
Well, that's not fair. Well, when you say it like that.
Cognitively unfit to serve. By the way, today was no exception. At the Air Force Academy, Biden could not remember the word pilot or fighter pilot. Take a look.
By the way, I met with who are those guys that fly over shortly?
Oh my fucking... Yo, I haven't seen that clip before. Who are those guys that fly the planes? That would be the pilots, sir. This wouldn't be such a big deal if he wasn't the president of the United States.
You heard of them, haven't you? 3 of them are women.
Yo! Woo! Why does he do that? It's been a while since I've heard a Biden speech. He always does that fucking creepy lean in and talk like this. The only people who do that reliably that you can find them, they're on a fucking registry and they have to knock on your door whenever they move into your neighborhood.
So don't screw around, guys.
Did you hear that? That guy's funny. I heard him on my echo.
All right, got much worse from there. And by the way, viewer warning, this is kind of hard to watch. But following those remarks, well, Biden fell flat on his face and took another...
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
...tumble and fall. Take a look.
What did he fall? And... That's the first time I heard it with sound. Yo, this shit sucks. That's alright, guys. It's only a flat stage. It's protein shake. I'm not jacking off. Oh, I was just about rip my shirt.
Wing, 10 shot. Mr. President, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, it's great to be here at the Navy base. He apparently said that it ended up being a sandbag or some shit like that, but that's also what you could refer to his presidency as. But yeah, whatever, man. I'm just going to go ahead. We're going to get to... We already had our laugh. We had our laugh. We had our fun. Now we can get into the town hall.
In the great state of Iowa. Let's give a...
See, it's also funny because Trump skipped that event that all of the different rhino cucks were at. He decided to hold his own event, and Fox News was like, please, we see the boost of the ratings that CNN got. Give us some, please. Could we please have a portion?
Warm. Iowa welcome. Joining us now for the hour, the 45th President of the United States, current GOP presidential candidate, frontrunner Donald Trump.
Yo, he needs theme music real fucking bad. Just turn it into a full gimmick and then just use No Chance in Hell. Like, come on. I think that's after the fact added. But if he had an air horn down there, I can't like the guy any more than I already do. All right, get on stage.
Hi, Truth. How are you?
No, what was that shit that was running around in the DeSantis circles? Oh, Trump had to cancel his Iowa rally because there was just no turnout. There was a fucking tornado that day. Oh, Ron DeSantis held an event. Yeah, in the back of a fucking Shoney's. Like, stop it. You're just hurting yourself. You punch in air. Trump's never going to show up. Daddy Trump will eventually pay you attention, and that'll be the worst day in your life. For him, it'll just be another Tuesday. A super Tuesday.
Thank you.
Why does he do the dance?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, we might be able to speed this up.
By the way, they all
Just saying.
came out. It was raining cats and dogs today.
It was a little nasty out, but it's Iowa. It's a beautiful place. When it rains, it's beautiful. We've really been loved in Iowa, and I love Iowa. We won.
Yeah, the frames don't look like they're dropping anymore. You guys just let me know in the chat if everything's all good and copacetic, because it looks fine on my screen, but I can't tell. And if you guys tell me that it's ass, well, we'll make additional provisions.
Both times by a lot.
Yeah.
So we're very happy.
You're up in the polls here.
Double digits, folks. Great.
I want to
Good
start
stuff.
with the current president. Did you
Sorry to
see
hear
the
about
video
that.
of when he fell? And did you see the video? He actually said, by the way, I met with, who are those guys that are going to fly over shortly?
You know the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your president
It was
right now.
Not too good. It's sad. It's sad. It's not, they're representing, we are all representing the country. You become president, and you're sort of not allowed to do that, but it's happened. It's happened, and it's happened pretty badly. We won't go into it, but we all know the ones, and they count those acts, they never forget. But that was a bad fall.
Yeah, Gerald Ford. Biden 28 other times, but no, yeah, that one's definitely about the worst. I seen the not the side-by-side comparison, but there was a clip making the rounds about the Gerald Ford one, and yo, man, that poor fuck, he took a couple of tumbles, but nobody seems to recall that they were steel stairs. He was wearing dress shoes, and it was fucking raining outside. Yeah, as Biden, though, that was what, the 1st of fucking June on a flat stage. Oh, there's a sandbag there. It's a gray stage and a black sandbag. Yeah, man, it just came out of nowhere. It was crazy, like magic. Poof. I like the Sandman.
I remember remember the media made so much. I think you were at West Point at the time.
Yeah.
And you were coming down a ramp.
Yeah.
It didn't have a rail. You had dress shoes on like you have now,
Yeah.
which have very slippery soles.
They look a little better, but you better not walk in rain. That's true.
Especially downhill on a ramp.
It was very interesting. I think I made my best speech. That was my best speech. And I was so proud of it. It was pouring. And
A lot of people tell me it's one of the best that I've ever given.
I said, this speech was so good. And then I said, how do I get down? Sir, you have to go down the ramp. I said, the same when I came up, it was a long, like an ice skating rink. And they said, yes, sir. And I had the general next to me, the commandant of cadets, nice guy, big guy, strong guy. I said, General, and he's wearing combat boots. They don't slip too much. I said, General, get ready, because I may have to grab you here. But I said, I'm not falling. There's no way. So I'd go tippy-toe down the thing. That was a mistake, because it did.
Yo, remember when the media spurred up? Invoke the 25th Amendment. He's not well. Same like how he drinks. It's not appropriate. But now Biden, it's like, oh, he tripped and fell. Oh, it's just a terrible tragedy, and somebody needs to clean that stuff up. Yeah, like that pile of shit that sits in the Oval Office.
Didn't look so good. I even agree it was. But I got killed, and they never covered that speech. I said it was my best. Someday they'll, in 100 years, they're going to put that speech on. I really, but you can't fall. You just can't fall, no matter what.
I'll
Just
have
can't
it on my
allow
Trump
it to
News
happen.
Network, all my
I better
speeches.
not allow, especially after saying this, I better not allow it to happen with me. But things like that do happen.
So in past interviews that we've had together, and we've had many over the years,
Yeah.
I have asked you repeatedly about what you think about Joe Biden's cognitive state. I've asked you about, is he up to the job physically, mentally? You have been very reluctant to go there. I'm not reluctant. To me,
Yeah, he's fucking done. Like, anybody can see that. If you've ever had a family member, I've had a couple of distant family members that had suffered with dementia, just a little bit, just a little taste of it. I'm not very close with my family, so yeah, just hearing stories as well about people are just, kind of not all that emotionally stable as they start to get up there in age. That's what you see a lot when it comes to Biden, just those quick shifts that are just seemingly out of nowhere. That's one big sign when it comes to dementia, and it's not improper to just point out the slow kid in the room. It's like, come on, man. He has the most important job in quite possibly the entire world, and he's running on 40% capacity.
Does everyone agree with me that this guy's cognitively not there? I doubt he knows what day of the week it is today. That's how bad I think it's gotten for him. Why are you reluctant to call that out?
Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. I actually called Sean, and I asked Sean not to joke about it.
I was joking
because he used to joke about it. And I said, honestly, I don't think it looks good for you or for anybody for you to joke about it because it's a serious problem.
I was talking about sippy cup and warm milky at night and bedtime stories. Yeah.
So I said, I just don't think it's good for anybody. And, it's not.
Oh, no, he's not presidential. Oh, no.
Appropriate. You can speak about it if you want, but I don't think you should joke about it. And you really didn't after that.
Well, now I realize how serious it is. I mean, especially, and we'll get into foreign policy and, with China, Russia, and Iran forming, I'm calling it a new axis of evil. Yeah. I'm very, very concerned that he's abdicated our role on the world stage. Let me start.
I do say this.
Yo, is Rumble completely fucked? Yo, man. I'll probably just keep it. I can keep it running in the back. Yeah, because my app just keeps on fucking freezing up. That's so weird, man. Like, I don't know if it's a specific tonight thing. But, yeah, because I'm watching it. It just freezes up. Like, I haven't dropped any more frames. And if YouTube's running fine, yeah, man, that's fucking wild. So I'll just be paying attention, making sure that the YouTube stream is running fine, and if anything happens there, I guess we'll deal from that. Yeah, that's fucking wild. It's very wild. See if there's anything I can do about that. It sucks. I like Rumble a lot. They've been very good to me. It might just be one of those tonight things.
I think it's the most serious time and the most dangerous time right now in the history of our country. We have nuclear weapons on lots of different areas. We have Russia, we have North Korea, we have Iran is going to soon have one. That should have never happened. I had that set up. We would have made that deal within a week after the election, and they would have never had a nuclear weapon. But nobody picked it up because I terminated the Iran nuclear deal. But this is the most dangerous time in the history of our country because of the power of the weaponry. And we have somebody that doesn't understand what's happening. And it's a very dangerous thing. It's a very bad thing. Some really bad things. If you would see, and I got to see it, if you would see the power of what we're talking about, this isn't army tanks going back and forth shooting at each other. This is something that's a whole different place. This is annihilation of the world, literally. The power is so horrible. And I was actually working on something with Putin where we start getting rid of nuclear weapons.
Oh, no, he's a war criminal. Don't talk to him. It's just better to, I don't know, shit talk him in a barn in Iowa. Where'd you learn how to politic? On a farm?
It's just too powerful.
Nobody's going to get that.
All of a sudden, people are talking about nuclear weapons all the time. I wouldn't let people talk about it. I had somebody come down from MIT. I was talking about that. My uncle was a great professor for many years at MIT, and I had somebody come down, and I said, what would you say, like, during the debate about nuclear weapons? He looked at me and said, sir, don't talk about them. I said, why? He said, there's nothing you can say. It's so powerful. It's so extraordinary. The best thing you can do is not talk about them. Now they're talking.
Yeah, he made the same point, because I know I heard about his uncle from MIT on the Full Send podcast, which I highly recommend to everybody. I don't know, maybe at some point in time we'll watch through that one. It was a very good interview. Very good.
Talking about them all the time. That's all they talk about. In fact, I guess Putin announced the other day he's moving nuclear weapons to Belarus. So this is a very dangerous time for our country, but it's a very dangerous time for the whole world.
Yeah.
You end your rally speeches now with music in the background, and you start with, "We are a nation in decline." And this is a very different America than what it was when you left it as president 2.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I can point to the border. I can look at laws all over the country, defund, dismantle, no bail laws. We've given up energy independence. We're importing oil from Venezuela and OPEC. And who would have believed that? And we now see 2/3 of our country are living pay.
Yeah, that is, outside of the withdrawal from Afghanistan, which I'm always going to put at the top as Biden's biggest fuck up, the absolute, just the lack of reason to stop drilling. Like, why? That was the first thing that he did on the first day. No more drilling on federal land. It's like, well, you're fucked. You can't do anything. It's like, it makes no sense. If you want to transition to a green solar energy, wind energy, renewable energy future, that's fine. You transition to it. You don't cut off your lifeline. Without fossil fuels, nothing that we're doing right now, you can't watch this, I can't broadcast this right now without fossil fuels. So it made no fucking sense at all. That was just, maybe that was the first Biden moment as president, where he just seen that and it's like, I want to ban gas. And it's like, I have a bad time with gas whenever I eat that Mexican food, and it makes me feel terrible, so we need to ban it. And it's like, well, that kind of gas? What?
Paycheck to paycheck. You see some people now cashing in their retirement just so they can make ends meet. Others are putting, bare necessities on credit cards. I'll mention this in Iowa. I have, a radio show with 720 stations. Farmers call me. The cost of fertilizer is 3 times what it used to be. The cost of seed is twice what it used to be. And if you can get the parts to repair your equipment, it's 4 times what it used to be.
You know what's fucked? I had to go do some small toiletry shopping over the weekend on Friday. Went and stepped out and replenished my stores, but it was so fucking wild. It's the price for like deodorant, face scrub, just not Costco shampoo. Holy fuck, man. It's been a second. Normally I just keep stock of all that stuff because it doesn't really go bad or anything like that, but $5 or $6 for a stick of deodorant? What the fuck is going on out there? Shit is wild. You have to buy everything on the sale, and even sale is just a return to the prices when they used to be high to begin with. So,
how I've never seen it this bad or this decline this precipitously.
So we were energy independent. Think of it, 3 years ago, and what people don't know is that we have, I call it liquid gold because it's gold, it's better than gold. We have liquid gold under our feet more than any other nation, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia. We're energy independent. Within 6 months, we would have been energy dominant. And we were going to sell energy to Europe and lots of other places. And we were going to make so much money doing it because it's such a big world. It's such a big business. It's all encompassing. And that's what started the inflation. I mean, the energy, we stopped drilling and all of a sudden gasoline's going up to $5, $6 a gallon in a car, and just horrible things were happening. And
$1.47 in my neck of the woods. I'll translate
it happened,
that.
But we were going to pay off debt. We were going to reduce taxes further. We gave you the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, bigger than the Ronald Reagan tax cut. And the biggest, and I think more importantly, Sean, we gave you the biggest regulation cuts. That's why we had more jobs than we ever had before. We've never had anything close. And we did all of that. And then to end that, but we were going to pay off debt. We were going to get the debt because the money is so big. It's so massive. You look at Saudi Arabia, the money they have, no nation's ever had anything like it. And we have more than they have. We were going to pay off debt. We were going to get the energy prices down. We were going to get interest rates down. It was like we had something going that, and within 6 months, we would have been dominant because we would have taken over Europe. We would have literally been supplying the energy to Europe. And we would have made.
I think that translates to $5.57 per gallon. I think that's what that translates to.
Made a fortune. We would have paid down the debt. We would have cut the taxes. It was going to be so beautiful.
Let me focus on the issues that I think bread and butter issues that impact everybody. I want to know if you get elected president, how fast you're going to be able to fix our borders, bring us back to energy independence, how quickly you might be able to work to change the school system, bring back law and order and safety and security to this country and every town and every city, because I think people need that if they want to pursue happiness.
Okay, you got to cut up your questions a little bit better, okay? Because we criticized the CNN, town hall host for just completely cutting off Trump. You're just telling him, "Oh, gee, Mr. Trump, can you please make the bad guys go away?" It's like you got to get specific because there's a completely different answer. How do you handle the border as to how do you handle the public school system? Well, the states kind of regulate the public school system, so I guess that you don't quite know that, or you just are putting that out there for the public to just, eat up. It's like the president controls the curriculum. No, he doesn't.
How quickly can you shift gears and move this country?
I think very quickly. Let me just say, so I heard DeSantis saying, "Oh, well, I get 8 years, he gets 4. You don't need 4 and you don't need 8. You need 6 months. Within 6 months, I said...
Yeah, that was another stupid point that I heard DeSantis make along the campaign trail. Oh, Trump had 4 years to clean up the stuff that Biden did, and why didn't he do it? Am I retarded in not thinking that Biden hadn't been in office when Trump was in office yet? Like, holy fuck, man. Maybe I heard the clip out of context, but it's like, oh yeah, he's just going to go ahead and do everything better. Just like I got rid of my version of Fauci. No, you didn't. We have the news clippings, you fucking tard.
Within 6 months, this can be done. Other than, you don't need 8 years. And frankly, I wouldn't vote for him because he said, you need 8 years, you need 6 months. We're going to drill. We're going to get our energy down. When the energy comes down, other things come down. Yeah. And we're going to take care of things. We're going to immediately close up the border. We had the greatest border. We had the safest border in the history of our country. Now we have the worst border in the history of the world. And I say this during rallies. We love our rallies.
I don't think that's incorrect.
There's never been a third world country that allowed people to pour into a country. They'd stand there with sticks and stones if they had to. What's happening to our country. But in terms of doing it, you don't need 8 years and you don't need 4 years. We can have a lot of it done because these guys are amazing. The oil guys, they will be. In fact, I had it so low that we had to raise it or they would have all been out of business. We had so much oil, we didn't know what to do with it. We bought a lot of it for very little for the strategic national reserves.
Yeah, a very short period of time. I think that was in late 2019, where oil was trading negative. Like, you had to pay to store the amount of oil that was out there. That was when, yeah, you had $1.50 gas, $2 gas everywhere. So
that he then took to keep the prices down before an election. You know, we had the strategic national reserves almost full, and then Biden came along and took it to keep prices down. It's called artificially down. And the thing is almost empty now. And that's meant for times of war. It's not meant to keep a price down for an automobile. It's meant for war, for real problems. And we had it 75 million barrels, and I bought it for peanuts. And Congress, I had to fight Congress, and the pricing was so crazy and so good. And we needed a place because we had so much. So we started filling up. This guy comes along, and he takes it for automobiles, for people, so they, before the election, so the price could keep down. Now it's totally empty. It's the emptiest I think it's been in 50 years. And it's so sad. And by the way, the price is still very high.
I don't think gas went over $3 a gallon, if I'm not mistaken, when you were president as an average.
We had it down to $1.87. We actually had a little period of time where we had it lower than that. But the energy companies, the oil companies weren't going to last. I had said, wait a minute, I love it in one way, but in another way, they're all going to go bust. We got to get it up a little bit. But we had it down to $1.87. But we had a period of time where it was much lower than that. And it was too low, actually.
So we have.
That's a good problem, by the way. That's a much better problem than it's at $6 and $7 and $8 and $9.
All right. So we have this new. I call it a new axis of evil.
Yeah.
You have China aligned with Russia, aligned with Iran. Let's start with China.
I'd substitute Iran for India, and then you'd have a problem. And we've seen a bunch of those photo ops. If you've seen them circulate with Putin, Xi, and Modi in those pictures. That one there's a little bit frightening, but they've all got their own weaknesses and they've all got their own issues. So
here you have a Chinese spy balloon. There are no consequences. Here you have, just this week, a Chinese simulator that takes out all of our warships in the Pacific and the China Sea.
Very sophisticated.
You have a confrontation with a fighter jet of China with our fighter jet. They come, within 400 feet or whatever it was. Joe Biden's defense secretary wants to meet with their defense secretary, and they basically give Joe Biden the middle finger and say no. And you see that there's a growing Cold War with China, who's aligned with two other hostile regimes. And I got to believe that's not a good situation for America right now, because, you know, Putin seems to have no qualms about taking down a drone out of the sky. No consequences for him, no consequences for China. What would you do?
So we had a great thing with China until COVID came in. Then I didn't even want to deal with them. But I had a great relationship with President Xi. But I was charging them tariffs. And if I didn't do, because they were dumping steel like nobody's ever seen anything like it before, destroying our steel mills and our steel plants. And I put on a 50% tariff. And all of a sudden, our steel industry was doing good. I did it for washing machines. I did it for dryers. I did it for a lot of things because they were destroying.
Oh, I seen something. And I had to have to read a little bit more. But you remember that there was a big freak out about Joe Biden banning gas stoves. I've seen something that policy is getting advanced a little bit further, where it could actually start going against what they would deem inefficient, which is just, it's kind of like those low pressure flush toilets, those absolute, they're those terrible ones. There's just, the shit just kind of falls out of the tube, and you just hope that it's not too bad and that you're eating the proper amount of fiber. Otherwise, you're going to have a clog every 2 seconds because it dumps about a cup of water. Yeah, you get that with your washing machine and for your dryer, which you'd be better off just going. That's what they want for you. Banning gas stoves and then not having clean clothes. Fuck is going on?
A lot of our businesses, but we were taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're in Iowa. I gave the farmers $28 billion. You know that, $28 billion. And in one of my moments, I said, there's no way I lose Iowa. I gave the farmers $28 billion from China. I took $28 billion. I asked Sonny Perdue, who was the Secretary of Agriculture, and a very good guy. I said, Sonny, how badly have our farmers been hurt by what China was doing? They were killing our farmers, right? Just killing them. He said about $28 billion. I said, that's okay. And I had $28 billion worth of checks written out to all of the farmers of our country. And I said, there's no way I'm going to lose this state. And there's no way I'm losing Nebraska and some other ones. But I've had more people thanking me for that. But think of it. I took $28 billion from China and gave it to our farmers. Nobody else would do that. Nobody else.
Vladimir Putin You have said repeatedly in interviews that if you were president, he never would have won.
Yo, meme, that's true. Or some buildings are being built without gas hookups.
Into Ukraine. How do you say that? And then you also have said that if you're president, you can end this very quickly.
Yeah, I'd say
how?
Get him to the fucking table. Get him to the table. You aren't getting any more supplies, and no, you're not moving any further. Okay, now you two figure this out, and then if you guys don't figure it out before 8 o'clock tonight, there's going to be no dinner for you, no dessert for anyone, no ice cream. My ice cream.
If I'm president,
I get 2 scoops.
And by the way, this is a much worse position than before it started. Before it started, it was easy. He wasn't going to do it, and I had conversation, and it was always the apple of his eye. I mean, I could see that, but I said, you're not going to do it. And if you do it, we're going to have problems like you've never had before. He understood. I said things. He said, you don't mean that. I said, I mean it 100%. And he didn't totally believe me, but he believed me 10%. And that's all he had to do. He knew that there was going to be a problem.
And President Xi, you're implying something here. You basically said, I'd obliterate you. Is that what you said,
I said things that were very bad, very nasty. And
kind of like what?
And honestly, I got along. And he said, you don't mean that. Had to do with Moscow. He said, you don't mean that. I said, I do. I'll never talk about it again, but I do. He said, you don't mean it, you don't mean it. And we then went on to other subjects. But I don't think he believed me, but he believed me 10%. That's all he had to believe me. 5% would be good enough. But I had the same conversation with President Xi about Taiwan, President Xi of China. I said, President, don't do it with Taiwan. Don't even think about doing it with Taiwan. He was never going to do it. And now he's circling, ships are circling, planes are flying over the top. 28 bombers last week went right over the middle of it. A lot of stuff going on. And a lot of this has to do also with the fact that we were so incompetent in the way we left Afghanistan. It was so, I think it was the most, it was the most embarrassing and most incompetent moment in the history of our country. And I think both of them looked at that and they said, wow, this is not the same country that we know. We rebuilt our military. I rebuilt the military. New jets, new everything. We had everything. And
no, exactly. And I'm glad that he constantly brings that up because that happened so early during the Biden regime that a lot of people are going to forget about it come the general election in 2024. But yeah, you got to keep grilling them on that. That was just such an unforced error that nothing's even going to come close to that. But it seems like Rumble, if you guys prefer watching over on Rumble, that's totally cool. But for everybody that's in there, I think it looks like everything's cleared up over there. No fucking idea what was causing the problem, but it seems like everything's good. I haven't seen any more additional drop frames or anything like that on my end. And yeah, the stream, I've been bouncing between both chats, making sure that everything looks fine. So seems like everything's on the up and up. So all systems go.
They gave away $85 billion worth of the best equipment in the world. Nobody can even believe it. The biggest, I mean, they're the biggest seller of equipment. They're the biggest right after us. Afghanistan. Can you imagine? Afghanistan is one of the biggest arms merchants in the world because they don't need 700,000 guns and rifles, 70,000 armor-plated trucks and different things, but millions of dollars for some of them. 700,000 arms. Think of it, rifles. 70,000 trucks. There's not a used.
They don't even know how to operate that shit. That's not just being. It's just being accurate.
Car lot in all of Iowa or in all of the country probably that has more than 500. These people had 70,000, and some of these are, a big, heavy armor-plated stuff for the roadside bomb.
Where do I put the saddle on the Humvee, my friend?
Soleimani, Soleimani was not good. That situation was taken care of. And al-Baghdadi was not good, and that situation was taken care of.
Got him like a dog, folks.
We did a lot.
The best press conferences.
Our military is great. A lot of things going on with our military, with the woke and all this nonsense. They're not learning to fight and protect us from some very bad people. They want to go woke. They want to go woke. That's all they talk about now. I see letters that are being sent. It's horrible. I mean, it's really a serious problem. That would end immediately. But when you look at what we did, we rebuilt our military. We added Space Force. Everyone said, oh, Space Force, what is that all about? When they came in, Biden wanted to end it. He said, what is this, a game? It's going to turn out to be one of the most important. It hasn't happened since Air Force 78 years ago. And it's unbelievable now. China and Russia were taking over space, and now we're leading in space because of Space Force. So it's a very important.
We got to take a break. More with former President Donald Trump. We'll ask him about the growing GOP field. Straight ahead.
Fantastic.
Show every main.
Oh no. Oh no.
Chris,
oh, there we go.
Where I'm at, that's all that. Says 80. Even we got bold morals.
Yo, man, watching network television must suck ass. Holy fuck.
Weird.
Yeah, we got it. Come on now. Oh my god.
The measure then goes to the more. Law Mad Pergamon.
There we go.
All right, we are back with Donald J. Trump. We're outside of beautiful Des Moines, Iowa for the hour. We will be taking questions.
That was 5 minutes.
And tonight, as the 2024 race heats up, President Trump and other Republican candidates are now crisscrossing the state. And, of course, the former president has a commanding lead in both Iowa and nationally. GOP field, though, is...
I think Iowa. I'm pretty sure that Iowa... I think it's the first... I forget the proper term for it. Is it the caucus? I can't quite remember, but that's the first place where they vote. That the GOP membership ends up voting for the delegates there. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, everybody else who turned out for that, yeah, Vivek, Larry Elder, Tim Scott, Asa Hutchinson, Nikki Haley, DeSantis, and then since then, I don't know if Chris Christie found a belt big enough for him in order to get on stage to announce for presidency, but we know that Mike Pence has since announced. But I know Christie's just waiting. I don't know, maybe he's just working his way up on the stage, but he'll eventually get there. I just wonder if they need to have a double-wide podium for him.
Growing. Last week, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis threw his hat in the ring, and soon we expect that former Vice President Mike Pence will be in. Anti-Trump zealot Chris Christie will join.
I think that was added in after the fact.
Join in, but can anyone close the gap? Let's talk about what I guess we're up to 9 people after next week.
That's a good thing, isn't it? I think pretty good, but I don't think it matters. I don't know why people are doing it. They're at 1%. Some are at 0. Mm-hmm. I hear Chris Christie's coming in. He was at 6% in New Jersey, which is, I love New Jersey, but 6% approval rating in New Jersey.
Yeah, that fat fuck was the governor there, and he tanked his political career after he was crying and ran up and hugged Obama.
What's the purpose? And he's polling at 0. And
hey man, consultants got to get paid.
Others are, I call him Ada Hutchinson. I don't call him Asa. I call him Ada Hutchinson. I give him a little name for some reason, for certain reasons. But this guy, nobody knows who the hell he is. Never good. And some, it's fine, but I don't understand.
Yo, that's like The Rock killing Billy Gunn's career in an afternoon. Holy shit. I call him Ada. Nobody knows who this fucker is. Who cares? He's not relevant. Just drop out now, Ada. Asa. I don't care. Just I'll watch your ass. I'll leave the stage if you smell what the Trump is cooking.
Understand what they're doing. Now, maybe there's something wrong, but when you're at 1% or less, 1%, it says 1% with an arrow pointing left. There's one guy who's at 0 with an arrow pointing left. That means he's at less than 0. So it is what it is. Yeah.
God, I think Tim Scott's a little bit ahead of that, but I know Nikki Haley in most polls, she did about that 1%. Yeah, it's not good. Maybe Larry Elder, but I like Larry. It's not his time.
So I really go after the one who's second, and I think the one who's second is going down so much and so rapidly that I don't think he's going to be second that much longer. I think he's going to be third or fourth. He had a very...
Yeah, Vivek... I'm going to stake my claim right now that Vivek is going to end up at the end of the primary cycle in better shape than DeSantis in the polls, just to give a qualifiable marker. You guys go ahead. You were here first when I called it. Vivek is going to perform better than DeSantis in the primaries.
Very bad day today. He got very angry at the press. You're not allowed to get angry at the press.
Let me.
At the fake news, he got angry.
So you probably became in history the most investigated president of all time.
Times 10.
Okay. So,
but if my poll numbers went down, it would all end. Every time my poll goes up, I say, oh, this is a problem. But we had a poll today that showed I was 44 points above number 2 and beating Biden by 11 points. Beating Biden by 11 points and beating Biden by 15 and 16 points in some of them. And he's not doing well against Biden.
Let me ask you, because you are...
Because we can't take a chance of this.
Because what was that, the Richard Barris poll of Middle America? I forget specifically what state that is, where it showed Trump comfortably beating Biden in, might have been Wisconsin. I'm butchering it, but whatever. It's one of those states, and then the direct comparison. DeSantis gets the brakes beat off of him by Biden in that same area. It's fucking wild, man.
This election.
I think a lot of people agree with that. I don't think things have been as bad, turned so badly so quickly. The third issue is there's a special counsel that's appointed, and news broke yesterday that there might be a tape recording that, quote, where you acknowledge that you understood that these were classified documents. First of all, do you know who this call may be with? Do you know anything about it?
No, I don't know anything about it. All I know is this. Everything I did was right. We have the Presidential Records Act, which I abided by 100%. Biden has 1,850 boxes with a lot of classified stuff that he's not supposed to have in his case. I have the right to declassify as president. He's got 1,850 boxes that he doesn't want anyone to see. He had 7 or 8 boxes in Chinatown in Washington, D.C., where nobody even speaks English in Chinatown. Chinatown is it's in favor of China. And he has boxes in China.
China's in favor of Chinatown. They even have Chinese flavors, folks. Where do you think they get the little cookies with the message inside? It's all from Xi, folks. That's how they communicate. They're very sneaky, those people, with their finger traps that get you caught inside of them. It's very crazy. But yeah, that's where Biden had a temporary office while I think the Penn Biden Center was getting renovated. I think that's the way that it works. It's just, how do you explain the boxes of documents behind the Corvette, which, as a public servant, how do you explain the vintage Corvette?
Chinatown. They took those boxes and they sent them to Boston to his lawyer so his lawyer could look through them and probably do things that you're not supposed to do. No, this is about election interference. And in fact, I have to tell you, Dershowitz and a couple of very good guys wrote an article today. The Tobacco King, you know who the Tobacco King, he did a great job on the...
Joe Camel?
Tobacco companies. They wrote an article today that this is a disgrace that they're even looking at this stuff. There was nothing done wrong, nothing whatsoever. Now look at the boxes with Biden, where they're in his garage, they're all over the floor, they're sitting under his Corvette with the grease and everything else, on a garage door that you could cut with a scissor, and no Secret Service. I have Secret Service all over the place. Mar-a-Lago is a fort. It's literally, she built that.
Yo, Raj, is that true? CNN's going to have a town hall with Nikki Haley. Oof, that better be a double bell. Otherwise, dozens of people will turn up to watch that.
As the Southern White House. But when you look at
we might play a game of how long can we last before we just cringe out of it. That could be hilarious.
And it's another, it's a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. It's a hoax. And it has to do...
hoax, folks. Terrible stuff.
It has to do, more than anything else, with trying to interfere with the election. And let me tell you, DOJ actually you talk about Bragg, the DA of New York. I never thought I'd be dealing with a guy like this. You talk about Bragg. The DOJ
He's so
in Washington
fat, folks.
put
He's a
his
fat
top
man.
guy into the DA's office, which is local, which is city, state. But they put the top guy in the Justice Department into that office to make sure Trump gets in trouble. Can you believe it? It's never, ever happened before. And then Hillary Clinton's lawyer from, I guess it's Paul Weiss, left Paul Weiss to work in the prosecutor's office because he hates Trump and he wants to get Trump. And then nobody wanted to do anything because they say, Trump didn't do anything wrong, including Bragg originally said Trump didn't do anything wrong. And then he prosecutes for what he said was not wrong. But they took this guy, and they put him in there, and he left the firm and he went in. It's a big, Pomerantz, Mark Pomerantz.
Okay.
And he left to become a prosecutor. He was a Democrat lawyer, and now he's trying to prosecute me. And then what happened is they wouldn't do what he wanted
John
to do
Smith?
because it was too bad even for them. So this guy left and he writes a book during the process. They tell me what he did is criminal. They tell me. Now let's see what happens. But he's in a lot of trouble. So here's a prosecutor left and he wrote a book during a prosecution. But I've been going through this for 7 years. Yeah. Russia, all of it. The Mueller report, which was no collusion. After 2.5 years, there was no collusion with Russia. Mm-hmm. I was the worst thing. Putin would say, they say you like me. He said, you are the worst guy that we've ever had to deal with. I'm the one that stopped the pipeline. The big pipeline going up to Germany.
Nord Stream 2. I think, I don't know if I mentioned this or something, but in January of next year, the New York case against Trump it's going. It's, I think, January 21st, I think, is the first official date for trial in the Stormy Daniels case. Holy fuck, man, that's going to be wild. What a way to kick off the new year, right? But we're so far away from that, and we still got to figure out what's going to happen with Georgia and then with the federal investigation. I'm thinking they're probably all going to drop in on and around the same time, so...
Stop it. When Biden came in, it's called Nord Stream 2. When Nord Stream 2, nobody ever heard of it until I came along. I said, you're allowing Russia to build a pipeline through Europe? I stopped it. It was stopped dead. And then the election came about, and Biden came in. One of the first things he did was allow Russia to complete the pipeline. I had it stopped. And then they say, I'll tell you what, they're a party of disinformation. They'll say Trump is soft on Russia. I'm the hardest on Russia that there's ever been. The sanctions we did, everything else. And I got along with Putin. Let me follow up. And by the way, the hardest on China by a factor. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. And as I said, no other president ever took in 10 cents. And you know what? China respected us. And President Xi respected your president. And he didn't want to have any more tariffs. And he didn't want to have any more sanctions. But he respected us. And now he doesn't respect. They don't even return phone calls.
You know, abortion now is back as a real campaign issue. And then issues I didn't think when I started my radio career in 1987 I'd be talking a lot about, but education, kids.
Yo, somebody needs Fix-It-Ent and forget it. And he's talking over his dentures real bad.
Gender identity classes, CRT. I never thought we'd really have this deep debate about whether or not biological men could be playing in women's sports.
Yeah, I love good comedy too.
So crazy.
On all of these issues, you know, what is the best way that you see to settle?
Well, I did something that nobody thought was possible. I got rid of Roe v. Wade. And by doing that, it put pro-lifers in a very strong negotiating position. Now they're negotiating different things. And, you know, I happen to be of the Ronald Reagan school in terms of exemptions where you have the life of the mother, rape, and incest.
Mother's life.
So you have that. And I think, you know, for me, that's something.
And thanks to the Florida numbers that are collected, that amounts for, guess how many percentage points, folks? Oh, that's all right. I'll just spoil it for you. 1%. 1%. 95% of abortions, I kind of gave it away. God damn it, speaking over my words, but it's elective. Abortion is totally the choice of a woman. It is a backup in so much as, we need to have the right to choose. And it's like, stop being a whore. Stop letting everybody shoot up the club. Like,
that works very well, and for probably 85%. Because don't forget, we do have to win elections. But I did something that nobody could do, and I also made them the radicals because they are willing and able to kill babies in the 9th month. They're willing to kill babies. That's radical. Pro-life isn't radical. They've made pro-life radical, the other side. Pro-life is not radical. What's radical is killing a baby in the 8th month, the 7th month, the 9th month, or even the babies after the baby's born. And, you know, unfortunately, we have a lot of politicians, and you saw that in the midterms. I think it was a big factor, that didn't really know how to talk about what we did with Roe v. Wade and what we did on pro-life. They didn't know how to talk about it, and it energized the Democrats, and they used that. I mean, they used that as a commercial. You wouldn't believe it.
Well, what should the
But especially when you didn't have the exceptions. When you didn't have the exceptions, they went after the people, like, viciously. The ads, and those people did not, generally speaking, they didn't do very well in terms of election. But when you have the exceptions and you go through the whole gamut, it's something that's an incredible thing. But one thing it really did, though, Sean, is it gave people that are pro-life a great power to negotiate. We had no power to negotiate because you had Roe v. Wade sitting in there where you could do anything, where the other side could do anything. They can't do that right now. So we're in a great position to negotiate something really, really good. And most people, I think, really respect what we did. Now, I will say every once in a while I watch somebody say, I did more for abortion and abortion rights and pro-life. I did more than Trump. Well, only stupid people would say that because everyone said there was no way that Roe v. Wade was going to disappear. But because it was very unfair. The other thing is people wanted to bring it back to the states. I consider that less important, but nevertheless, a lot of people want to bring it back. This brings it back to the states.
More with Donald Trump.
No, I think that's probably the biggest thing is it's a states' rights issue. What's good for New York could be totally different from Arkansas. What's different for Utah is going to be different than South Carolina. That's always going to be the most important thing at the end of the day. So I got to disagree with him on that one.
And we'll hear from our audience.
Keep the company, don't subscribe anyway. My name is Frank.
All right.
Out of notification.
Oh, and by the way, yeah,
Everyone's gone out of the
NBC
jungle.
show. Thank you for streaming this, man.
There's a show.
Big ups to him.
For
Link will be in the description, for sure. If you guys want to watch this in
for you guys
totality
brought over
itself.
to, it's a policy channel.
Don't want to watch
Well,
the
they were
commercials. Holy fuck, there's so many
Hello,
commercials.
Iowa. Thank you for being here. Now, according to a recent Harvard
thank
Harris
you,
poll,
Sean.
the majority of Americans
Yo, why is he wearing his American flag pin? Normally it's a CIA pin.
now believe, quote, Joe Biden was involved with his son in what is an illegal influence peddling scheme.
I don't know if it... God, I've been meaning to do a video on this. I might backlog one, or... That could make for a fun stream topic. We'll see. There's an entire website. That would be a Rumble exclusive live stream, by the way. But there's an entire website now where all of the pictures from Hunter's laptop have been uploaded. Yeah. I don't even know what you could possibly find out there, but I've seen a couple of write-ups, especially from the New York Post. I'll dig into that story. Probably not the pictures, though, because I don't need to see foreign hookers or cousin hookers.
And yet, as far as we know, despite a mountain of evidence, now the FBI had Hunter's laptop since December of 2019. The FBI and the DOJ, they refused to investigate, quote, the big guy who Hunter complained he had.
Yo, that was Rishi Sunak right next, the current not VP, PM of the UK. Brain. Duh. I'm seeing Biden and it's fucking rubbing off through the screen apparently, like he does so often. But God, he's a tiny,
now the FBI had Hunter's laptop
guy.
since December of 2019. The FBI and the DOJ, they refused.
But yeah, what a fucking midget! Holy, I don't know if that's forced perspective or is Biden that big of a guy? Like, maybe is he 6 feet tall? I'm not entirely sure.
Used to investigate, quote, the big guy who Hunter complained he had to give half his income to.
Also, he has a posture of a question mark.
So. And on the other hand, there is no shortage of witch hunts against Donald Trump, which we were talking about a little bit in the last segment. Now, the 45th president of the United States is back with us for reaction to all of that. This goes to the heart of Jim Jordan's investigation. Is the FBI politicized? Is the DOJ weaponized? James Comer's committee looking into whether or not the Biden family, in fact, we know that Joe lied when he said in a debate with you and said it to other press people when he said, I've never talked to my son about his foreign business dealings. We've got photographic evidence. We have dates and times of meetings. We now have, according to James Comer, routing plans to different LLCs, and money's going to 9 separate Biden family members. And they're looking for one particular document where $5 million was exchanged for an act that they claim that Joe Biden may have committed in exchange for this deal. Yet how come nothing happens to them?
Well, they're being protected, and it's a one-sided system. It's a very unfair system, but they're being protected. Look at the time that Biden said about the $1 billion to get rid of the prosecutor. Now, can you imagine if I said that? $1 billion to get rid of the prosecutor. You talk about tape. That's on tape. That's so illegal what he said. It's America's money. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you get rid of the prosecutor that was prosecuting his son and his son's company, even though his son didn't know anything about energy or anything else, and he's on the board of an energy company, getting paid a fortune, by the way. No, the whole thing is crazy what's going on, and it's so bad because it makes them look so bad. You know, we talk about borders, we talk about elections, but you can add our justice system. If it's corrupt, if the people think, if there's any perception of being corrupt, and when you look at all of this criminality, like the laptop has so much stuff on it, it's so bad, it's so evil, and yet they don't want to do anything. It even affected the impeachment, because impeachment hoax number 1 and 2, if they read the laptop and they had the laptop, should not have proceeded, because I was right, and it should not have proceeded. A lot of people said that, but it is a dual.
Definitely with the second one, not too sure. Oh, no, yeah, because but the first impeachment attempt was all about Ukraine, and yeah, no, that definitely would have helped clear some things up. I was thinking about Russia for a second. See, so much shit happened during the Trump presidency. It was fucking wild. Can't wait for the second go-around.
The system of government is a dual system of... you talk about law and order. You can't have law and order in a country where you have such corruption, and the corruption is... And they fight so hard not to give the papers. With me, they make up papers. They fight so hard not to give a document. Now, how bad can this document be? And it's very dangerous. I think it's a third point, but it's very dangerous for our country.
Well, Comer said to me on radio today, he has the document. He said it on TV last night.
By the way, he's doing a great job, and Jim Jordan they're doing a fantastic job.
Let me ask you one question. I've asked you this question before, and it comes up a lot. People know that I've interviewed you all these years. I've known you almost 30 years. And people ask me and say to him, why does he have to fight so hard? Why doesn't he pick his fights a little more? Why does he have to call people names?
Oh, I think I've seen a clip about this that, people start to turn on Hannity on this one, which that makes sense.
And the only reason I think this is an important question is because I think everyone here tonight is likely voting for you, right? So
no, I don't say.
However, it's going to come down to those people that maybe are in the middle a little more. And the argument that they make to me is, if he would just tone it down a hair, stop a little of the name calling. Hang on. I said it's their question. Leave me alone. All right. That it might help you with swing voters in that are needed for you to get over the finish line. It's already hard enough electoral vote-wise for a Republican to win. What do you say to them?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, the reason that you don't tone down your message is people find you and people will immediately resonate with you. I just go back to the old Howard Stern argument and something that was put forward. What is it? The people who like your radio show, if your radio show is 4 hours long, the average fan of Howard Stern would listen to the show for about 2 hours. The people that hate, despise, and detest Howard Stern would listen for 3.5 to 4 hours. So as long as you can elicit an emotional response, and as long as people know your name, they will be in your head, okay? You will be in their head. That's the proper term that I'm looking for. I've been talking too much today, see? But no, that's why you don't dilute your message. People like you because your message is strong. If you decide to walk it back, you just end up looking like a sellout. So, yeah.
And I say this to everybody. I won an election that was unprecedented. We beat somebody that supposedly had it made, and, they probably did things in that election too. They were shocked. But I came into
Can we say that stuff now? Because we just read the article. Just wondering.
Office, and from the day I got in, I was under siege by people that have been in Washington for many years, put in there by many different presidents. In most.
Oh, yeah, they're still Democrats. Oh, excuse me. Still Democrats that don't believe the results of the 2016 election, but that's totally fine, right? That's all right.
Cases, people that were against me, like they spied on my campaign. They did all sorts of things.
No,
I was under
that's
investigation and under siege, and so were my people. And if I wasn't tough, I wouldn't be here right now. I guarantee you that. If I didn't fight back, I wouldn't be here. What they did is so bad, and they've been caught. Now, so far, nothing's happened to them of consequence. We had an Attorney General, Bill Barr, who didn't have the courage to fight. He just didn't have the courage. He was a nice man, but he didn't have the courage. He lost his courage when they wanted to impeach him. They said, we're going to impeach Bill Barr. They didn't even know why. There was no reason to impeach him. He didn't do anything wrong. But he didn't have the courage. We need courage in this country, or we're going to lose our country.
All right, I'll tell you what.
It's hilarious. Bill Barr, he's a great guy. He just didn't have that courage, folks. He didn't have the courage. He's a great guy. He just didn't have courage. He's a great guy. Outside of just saying, no, he was kind of a rhino cuck that, somebody recommended to me. And it's like, well, I kind of need an attorney general at a pinch. And I guess he'll fucking do. That was the one problem. But, hey, man, Trump's just learn from your mistakes. And if you take a look at the DeSantis camp, the other option that's out there, well, the people that he surrounded himself with, they'll send a shiver up your spine.
You can stand up if you want or sit down, whatever you prefer.
Okay.
Hi, sir. What's your name?
Mike Etheridge.
All right. Mike, is it?
Mike.
Hi, Mike. You have a question for President Trump.
I
do.
That, by the way, I think I'm going to like this question. Look at that.
I'm going to say yes.
Thank you.
He's making money off your name, just so you know.
Okay, I'm going to. I'm not going to sue him.
My question is, from the time that you left office until now, and in fact, in my case, it happened very quickly. I am a veteran. I use the VA. I was getting in to see a doctor 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
From the time you left, and this is within a month.
Speed it up.
The next time was 8 months.
Yeah, I know. They let the system break. Are you talking about the VA?
I am.
So we had a 92% approval rating. Nobody's.
Oh, he's so much nicer than I am. All right, just fucking get your question already, for Christ's sakes. It's like, yes, we know. And the VA, the fact that there's even a question that that's a bungled system just goes to show you. It's like, whenever you leave the government up to control something, it automatically fucks up. What works better? The roads suck for a reason, because they need to have continuous repair. They need to have a built-in job creation tool. And I can just tell you anecdotally, the healthcare system up here in Canada, total fucking ass cancer. So, yeah. Take care of the veterans. They're kind of the backbone. I know it's a very basic bitch interpretation of the facts, but if they're pledging their life to service of the country, the least you can do, the fucking least you can do, is pay attention to them and take care of them after the fact. It doesn't matter if they're ladling out lunch bowls or that they're firing M16s. They deserve the appropriate amount of compensation. They signed up for it. You take care of them, but I don't know why that's... I don't know why that is an insurmountable task. Makes no sense.
He's ever come close. I think the highest was 51, and it was many years ago. We had a 92% with the VA, and I did two things that were really, we had great people at the top. We had a lot of great people. We talk about the bad ones, but we had a lot of great people, and they did a fantastic job. When you get a 92% rating, and I really appreciate that you say it, what happened with the VA is they had a lot of very bad people in the VA, sadists, very sick people that were really, they were beating up and hurting our people, and you couldn't do anything about it. And I got through Congress an act where we can fire those people. We got rid of 7,000 really bad people. But the other thing of equal importance, maybe more important, if you had to wait, like you said you had to wait, under my system, if you had to wait more than a day, as you know, you would go to a private hospital, you would go to a private doctor, and they would take care of you. And people weren't dying. People were dying waiting online. They were waiting for 6 months. They became terminally ill for something where a simple procedure or a simple prescription could have taken care of it. And if they had to wait for more than 24 hours, I gave them the right to go to a private doctor. We paid the bill. We negotiated with them. We had certain set prices because otherwise, it wouldn't be good. And we had the highest rating. That's why the veterans love Trump. We did a great job. It's so nice that you say it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. All right, I understand. Sir, what's your name?
My name's Tony, retired USAF Lieutenant Colonel, volunteer for a number of senior
All
organizations,
right.
to include AARP, full disclosure.
Don't ask about the VA,
high inflation.
cocksucker.
We have a Medicare system that is severely lacking funding, running out of funding.
Right.
We have a trust fund in Social
Yo, you know how much funding Fox News gets from Big Pharma? That makes sense why you have back-to-back Medicare-related questions.
Security that's going broke. Across Iowa, serious concerns for seniors. What's your envision? What can you do? How can we solve these problems and get them done?
So inflation is a killer of countries. If you look back 200 years, you could look back to empires where inflation came. The empires all dissolved. They were all gone. Inflation is it's a cancer to a country. We are going to stop inflation. We still have way high inflation, the highest in 52 years. And they're saying, oh, we're doing better because it's down to 5%. 5% is a lot. But we were heading up, and we could head up right now with what's going on. We could head up very, very much higher. But we're going to drill. We're going to bring energy way down. When energy comes down, other things are going to. That's what caused the inflation in the first place. We're going to bring energy down. We're going to then bring interest rates down because interest rates, people can't buy homes. They can't borrow money. They can't do anything now. I mean, right now, our economy is a total mess. And we'll stop it. And when we stop inflation, and when we get interest rates down, and when we do all of the things that we have to do, including, again, I rebuilt our military, but we have to rebuild it again. You know, our military has no ammunition. We have no ammunition. We've given much of it, almost all of it, but we've given much of it to Ukraine. And we want to help people, but I want to stop the war. I don't want that war to continue. And I'll stop that war, mark my words, I'll stop that war in 24 hours. But we're in a position.
Mr. President, let me ask. Serious question. How do you stop that war in 24 hours?
I know both. And frankly, Zelensky was very good because he was part of the phone call. And he said, he didn't say anything wrong to me, the Democrat. He could have gone and grandstand and said, well, I felt threatened. He didn't. I get along with him. I get along with Putin. It would have been much easier to stop it before it started. Putin would have never done this. It would have been much easier. Right now, it's a mess. Now they're hitting Kiev and they're hitting all sorts of things that weren't supposed to be hit. The country is being decimated. By the way, the deaths are far more than they're reported. You know, when they say 9 apartment houses got knocked down and 2 people got hurt. No, hundreds of people died. The numbers are much different than what you're being told. I will get them into a room and they will, and I know an exact way. Number one, you tell one, you're not going to get anything unless you make a deal. You tell the other one, they're going to get a lot unless you make a deal. And you just sit them and you put them in, and you have to make a determination. And I'm telling you, within 24 hours, that whole thing will be settled. It'll be settled. And you need the power of the Oval Office. You do. You can't just walk in and say, oh, I'm going to settle the deal.
Not for nothing. This is just Trump's greatest hit, so I'm just kind of letting it play. I don't think that there's much more.
Vicious. I saw today where missiles are going into cities, in this case, Kiev, and you see the school children going to school and missiles are following them. The whole thing is horrible. I will have that settled in 24 hours. People say, oh, you can't. It's just like when I hear the sanctimonious come and say, we need 8 years. Again, if he needs 8 years, don't vote for him. I'll have that. This country will be hopping in 6 months, and a lot of it's going to do with energy and energy costs. It'll be hopping in 6 months, and less than 6 months, but it'll be back.
Thank you, Iowa, for being here.
No, that's it. Well, there you go. We got it. It looks, I'm pretty sure here, because I got this other tab pulled up. It was just a little bit, it might end up being a recap, but it was mostly just Q&A here at the end. I'm just scrolling through. Oh, no, actually, there's a different guy that's down there. Okay, we'll just listen to him quick, because I don't need to hear the back and forth when it comes to that stuff. We'll play this here, and then I think we'll pretty much be done here at about the top of the clock.
John from Clive, Iowa.
Hey, John, how are you? Right here in Clive.
Yep, right here in Clive.
Hi, John.
Mr. President.
Hi, John.
How are you going to hold the 3-letter agencies accountable? Or do away with them
Good
completely?
question. Oh, shit. My bad. Sorry. I thought I had the YouTube screen pulled up, but no, in case we miss it, I'll just go ahead and run that back here real quick.
And they have...
oh, for penis. Penis! What are we doing? Brief. There we go. See. Okay, no. What Trump was talking about, God, how long ago was that? When he took the campaign stage at one of the rallies, and he ended up saying he was going to defund or get rid of, that might have been a press release as well, get rid of 40,000, 37,000, 47,000. It was somewhere between 30 and 50,000 FBI agents, defund all of the additional 80,000 new IRS agents as well. Basically come in and gut the deep state, which is another reason why everybody in the government is going so hard against them. So yeah, getting rid of the FBI, the fact that they've just kind of been outliving their purpose for a very long time, and the fact that they've been so weaponized, that'd be a great thing. So I want to hear what is. Actually, this isn't a part of his greatest hit, so this one might be important.
Have too much power. How do we restore power to the people?
So these are agencies that have been manned or womened by people appointed by different presidents over the years, and they really feel they rule the country. And the way you do it is by putting very good people at the top. We had some great people. We don't talk about our great people. We had some great people at the top. They talk about the ones that don't do as good a job. And I was quick to fire people if I didn't think people did a good job. Even in the military, I fired people quickly. You know, we took down ISIS. We got 100% of the ISIS caliphate. I was told it was going to take years to do, and I did it in a matter of weeks. Our military is so great, but they have to be dealt with properly and spoken to properly. We have great people, but we have people also that have been, they feel that they're empowered. They were put there many years ago. They've been there, and they've been through many presidents, and we have to get a lot of them out. Some are good, but we have to get a lot of them out, and we were starting to do that at a very high level.
Ma'am, how are you? What's your name?
I'm Lori from Boone, Iowa.
Hey, Lori.
Why does she look like great value Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Glad you came.
Thanks. President Trump, I want you to know how much our country needs you, and we pray for you daily.
Thank you.
Okay.
I want to know what's the first thing you're going to do to get the southern border cleaned up, and how are you going to get all these illegals out of our country that we are footing the bill for?
So we have incredible people. These people that work for ICE, the toughest people, and they love our country. And the Border Patrol people are incredible. Brandon Judd is one of the top people, as you know. He's a fantastic guy, Brandon. And Tom Homan, how about Tom Homan? And we have the people. We have to get this cleaned up fast. We have to get it stopped. We had it stopped up, and the drugs now are 12 times more. Think of it, 12 times more than they were 3 years ago. And the human trafficking in women, because it's 95% women, the human trafficking has gone through the roof because they just come across the border like it's open land now. Nobody stops them. We had it really done. I got Mexico to give us 28,000 soldiers to stop. And they said to me, you know the story, you've heard it, but I said, Mr. President, who I like a lot, but he's a socialist, you can't have everything. I said, Mr. President, you have to give us 28,000 soldiers. He left him. He said, why would I do that? I said, because you're sending and you're allowing people to come into our country. This is while the wall was being built. You're allowing people to come into our country, and you can't do that. And they're coming from Guatemala and El Salvador. They're coming from all these they're coming really from all over the world. And I said, you've got to do it. No, I will not do that. And he sent his representative. I said, you will do it. And the reason you're going to do it, because if you don't do it, we're going to put a 25% tariff on every single thing you send into our country. And that's going to be much more money than your soldiers. Believe me, that's going to be like the greatest deal you've ever made is to give us the 28,000. And they gave us 28,000 soldiers free of charge, and they stopped people. They have no rules that you're not allowed to talk fresh to somebody, or they put you in jail for the rest of your life.
Talk fresh to them? Well, think about this.
Soldiers are tough soldiers in that sense. So are ours. But our soldiers are told to do things that are horrible. If you speak a little bit harshly, can you imagine if you go back to MacArthur and you go back to some of these tough generals?
I didn't like the way that you said it. It's not so much what you said, it's how you say it.
They wouldn't be able, they'd all be thrown out of the military. How about Patton? Yeah. He used to slap them around. You get out there and you fight. He would have been out within 2 days. He would have been out of the military. Look, we've gone so bad. It's so sad what's happened. But we got 28,000 soldiers from Mexico, free of charge. We had the best border we've ever had. And I don't think anybody else would be asking that. They would be asking. When I proposed this, I said, what's the best? Well, the best would be if Mexico could help us. I said, they will. How many do you need? 28,000. And they all laughed at me at the State Department. They said, sir, you'll never get that. I also got stay in Mexico. You know what stay in Mexico means? Not stay here. And they said, you'll never get that. And we got stay in Mexico. Stay in Mexico is a big deal. They had hundreds of thousands of people that weren't allowed into our country. We used to take them into our country, send them back for a stupid trial. They'd say, come back in 2 years. Nobody ever came back. Only the stupidest people came back. Nobody ever came back. It was like 1%. They're in our country, and a lot of them are bad people that you don't want. And some of them are people that you do want. But we did a great job. Our border was great, and we'll do it again. And we can do it rather quickly, I can tell you.
Sir, what's your name?
My name's Kobe. I'm from West Des Moines.
Good.
And Mr. President, thank you for coming, and thank you for fighting for us. And Iowa loves you. I'm telling you that.
I love Iowa. Thank you.
So I'm a recent college graduate, and I can tell you that campuses are not a friendly place for people with common sense.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there's any further action that you plan on taking to protect free speech, not only for upcoming conservatives, but for everybody going forward.
Yeah, good. All right. So you probably know, I saw what was happening with conservatives where they're being run off. First of all, many more conservatives on those college campuses than people understand, many more. I would even say a majority. People say, oh, how could he say?
Yeah, That's probably about 50-50. Depends on the discipline that's out there, actually. So yeah, in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, it's a little bit different. If you take a look at the graduation rate, okay, 60% is female now. 60% enrollment, 75% graduation when it comes to females graduating. But if you just look at the subsections that are out there when it comes to the important degrees that are out there, you're still seeing a pretty good mix between men and women. But I guess, yeah, that's when it comes to they were talking about politics, but I'm just trying to extrapolate that out, because just think of your average dude that's on campus and your average chick that's on campus. Who's more likely to be conservative and who's more likely to be and liberal? My mind is shot.
We have a lot of support on college campuses. You look at the work Charlie Kirk has done, and others have done such an incredible job. But we have tremendous...
Charlie Kirk is hilarious. Not for what he's accomplished. He has done some good things. He's better than some of the PACs that are out there, but it's just crazy to have that big of a head and that small of a face. It's wild what he's accomplished.
Tremendous support, but I will tell you that I passed something and signed something very strong that if they do that, if they tell conservatives or anybody that you can't speak on campus, no more government subsidy, no more government. And it really cleaned it up. But as soon as I left, they ended that. But it was really good. I mean, you'd go to USC, which is, a hotbed, and other places like that, and they were taking people, and they were taking them gladly because they didn't want to lose the subsidy. We give them tremendous amounts of money. I said, no more government money to any school, any university or college that discriminates against anybody, not only conservative. And it really solved a big problem. You remember. But as soon as I was gone, that was ended. We'll put that back on the first day.
Yes, ma'am. Your name?
Okay.
Connie.
Hi, Connie.
I think this will be about the last question. I actually think it is the last question if I take a look at it, because I know that this video right here, it was only about, it is the last question. So we'll do this one, and then, we'll probably wrap up here anyways.
Born and raised in Iowa.
Good.
And we are farmers, so we fully understand this outrageous increase in fertilizer and chemicals and so forth. But my question is, I don't know if anyone can answer this, but I think if anyone can, you can.
Yo, does anybody notice how long her earlobes are? That's wild.
What will or can you do from day one to turn this mess around?
Okay, well, thank you, Connie. And look at the passion it's just like people, they don't know. It's like crazy. We're going to stop the border. We're going to get it back. We're going to be very tough with the cartels. The cartels are running the whole place. We're going to stop.
Yeah, there's a big border war that's anticipated with the cartels going down in northern Mexico and across the southern border. It could get wild. All I'm seeing is just reports. Everybody's stocking up and getting ready. But if we bite on every time that one of those reports comes through, we'd still be worried about the Great Border War of 2018.
That we're going to start drilling like crazy. I said on that CNN, nice town hall, I thought it was going to be a nice town hall. We're going to treat you so nicely, so nicely. When I heard the introduction, I say, this is going to be a war. He actually, in his own way, is tougher because he'll ask questions in a very nice way that are much tougher questions than what she was doing. But they did get their best rating in 11 years. That's pretty good. Normally, if you do that, you have a success. So they got their best ratings and they want to fire the head of CNN. So it's supposed to, everything is like April Fool's Day nowadays, right? You get good ratings, you're supposed to get a bonus, right? And you know what I did? I said, I'll do the show, but I'm not going against Sean Hannity. Is that correct? That's why I was on at 8 o'clock. They had me at 9. I said, wait a minute, 9? But Sean's on at 9. I said, nope, I'm not doing it. They said, well, then we'll call it off. I said, I don't care. They wanted to do it. I didn't want to do it. They said, we'll do it at 8. Now, how nice is that? Right?
Oh, he's such a joker, that Trump guy. But yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting. That town hall wasn't really press the wrong button. Wanted to go to camera. Like I said, fucking waking up in the middle of the night 3 or 4 times. 4 o'clock on Saturday. No, wait, that was Friday night. 2 until 3 o'clock. I was up last night. So your boy hasn't had that much sleep, and oh god, I still got about half an hour worth of work because I got some back catalog for the health stuff, which is interesting because we had some ivermectin developments with what could that possibly be about? I know, and then some breakfast food stuff and optimal times to work out, right? So I got to go do that stuff as well. But no, I appreciate you guys for turning out on this one. And got some stuff about Tuesday's stream. Okay, so Tuesday will be a simul stream as well. It was what I was going to do here. I'll just ask for you guys' opinion when it comes to that. Andrew Tate, our good friend Andrew Tate, he sat down and did an interview with BBC. It was fairly combative, and then he followed that up with another 11-minute statement. I think that would be a good stream. And if there's nothing too crazy when it comes to politics, because like I've said before, and probably for the rest of the election season, these political streams, or I'm sorry, the streams are going to be a little bit more tinged towards the political, especially for this month with all of that fucking gay shit that's going on right now. So that's mostly going to take up the time when it comes to the videos. So if we have any extra carryover when it comes to the political, we'll be doing that on the stream. So thanks for turning out, guys. I'll go ahead and do a rundown when it comes to who is in here as well. So really do appreciate you guys for turning out. Okay. Lord Sterling subbed on. It's me. Hey, Morty. Yo, what's up, man? No. 3-letter agencies. No, shout out to you, man. No, that's for true. Go check out the Great Awakening documentary by Mickey Willis. I'll throw it down. No, that's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. No, what's up? No, man. Great to see you. Great to see you in here, man. Rumble was having a bit of a fucking spurg out here earlier, so holy shit. What the fuck? 51 people watching on Rumble? And we're just about to end. Shout out to you guys. That's fantastic. That is fucking fantastic. Good show. Oh, no. Hey, Meadows. First time that I've at least remember seeing you in the chat. Active as fuck. And, you know, just pointing out a bunch of good shit between the YouTube and the Rumble stream as well. Shout out to you. Hopefully you see you in here again when we can have a little bit more of a interactive back and forth with the chat. And, yeah, I want to go back and start to do some more grab bag streams on Sundays and get more regimented. I just hope that the power doesn't go out and the fucking internet doesn't go flumpy and I have to spend 3 hours fucking maneuvering through it. So, no, for sure. CDP, seeing you in here and on the YouTube side. Shout out to you, man. Again. Meme, of course, you know, just bouncer extraordinaire between you and Ed. You guys are just, you know, fucking fantastic. Johnny 50 Cal. I've seen the name in here before, and yeah, you were pointing that out as well. Lost Canuck, shout out if you guys are still in here as well. And Rookie, of course. Do I even need to point it out at this point in time? Like, come on. You're fucking original. That's for true. Steve McGee, shout out esports. No, exactly. Steve McGee, you were in here earlier as well. And then, daily headlines. Thanks for that jaw tip. That's interesting. Yeah, because when I get tired or when I'm talking, because I did a bunch of recordings for everything here earlier today as well. So, yeah, I noticed that. And, when it's been a while, when I haven't properly eaten, yeah, things start to get a little bit tight, and then I just awakened a quarter percentage of me, and I just become a big scope enthusiast. So, no, thanks for that. Never thought about that. Didn't really connect the dots on that one. And then, of course, Manu. That's my guy right there. That's my guy. And what else we got in here? Roger coming through. Hey, first time in a long time, but hopefully it's not the last time. We'll catch you in the next one. And then Yo Holo Ho. I didn't get an opportunity to say hi, but everybody else that's in here, if you didn't get greeted by anybody else, shout out to you for turning out. I do appreciate you guys coming through. Did you like, I'll leave this up to you guys. Did you like when I put the stream, I made the announcement for the stream and set everything up beforehand? Do you guys like just the little waiting room that's set up for that? Because I can start doing that more regularly. I can make that happen going forward if you guys like that. So yeah, I can do that as well. Make sure I don't miss anybody. OPEC cutting, Oswald Fife, shout out to you, man. Non sequitur, of course, if you're still in here as well, man. Like, you've always got some great one-liners. I appreciate that as well. George, did I shout out George? Because if I haven't, George knows what's up. Dark Obsidian, if you're still in here, and then I'm pretty sure you're over on Rumble as well. And then Constantly Criminal, shout out. Not a name that I recognize, but thanks for turning it out anyways. But yeah, man, incredibly good turnout for just this stream right now. So no, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very, very much for humoring me this evening. It was a lot of fun. It always is, for sure. So no, George, it's good, man. Just go do work, go be productive. The VODs are always going to be up, if not here, over on Rumble. And holy fuck you, boy. He needs a haircut, or at least, you know, a proper comb to run through. So I'm looking crazy enough. Thanks, guys, for that. Let me see if I missed anything over on Lumble, which for sure, but no, for sure. No, guys, really, once again. So probably the Tate stuff on Tuesday? Probably the Tate stuff on Tuesday. And if not, if there's anything exceptionally wild that happens with DeSantis or with Trump, we'll react to it then. Other than that, thanks for giving me a bit of your Sunday evening. Hopefully you don't feel like it was wasted and that you were in fact enriched and enlightened by it. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone. And there we go. Oh my God. See stream video, right? I wasn't set up. You boy needs some sleep. Bye.